Hello, and welcome back to the Ironman. We're starting off this episode finishing up my Necronium set that I ended the last episode working on. I did a little bit more Slayer, but I got a Hellhounds task. Hellhounds are melee, and I remember them hitting kind of hard, so there's really never a better time for a melee armor upgrade. So now we have the full Necronium sets, and unfortunately we can't wield the 2H Great Axe yet, but I made it just so we can have it in the future. I don't know if I can say I really prefer this look over the Orichalcum. The Orichalcum armor was just straight up kind of cool and nostalgic looking, but this one's definitely a lot more metal. So while the episode is just starting and I haven't really gotten too engaged in anything yet, let's talk about what my goal is this episode. The main thing that I want to work on is just unlocking, access to the weapon Vanquish, which is that quest weapon that we unlocked a couple of episodes ago. So it is a tier 75 hybrid weapon, which means it can be used for melee, magic, or range. You just have to switch the mode. Already we're pretty close to unlocking magic because we're 73, so just a couple more levels there will get us to 75 magic to use that. And we're not too far away from range. I'm starting off here at already 69 range, so we're almost 70, which will unlock the crystal bow, and then it's not far from there to 75. I still have a ways to go for melee. I don't know if we'll unlock it, but I really want to get Vanquish unlocked for magic and range if possible. And at that point, I think we have a good enough weapon to possibly do some low-level PVM with it. So the Slayer continues. I've just really been going at it and trying to get my combat stats up, but this time it's not a combat level, it is a Slayer level. We just hit 70. And of course, that's just one more skill to 70. I've been getting more and more of them as we inch ever closer to 70 plus in all skills. Okay, I just did finish up another week full of daily challenges, and the reward, the big boy reward for this week, if you do all 7, is the Menophyte gift offering large. So let's open it up and see what we get. I've never opened one of the large ones before. I think I did earn one before, but it was like a medium. So this is this is the big boy version, and let's see what's inside. Looks like 144k cash, a kebab, that's hilarious, and a palm sapling, which I think that's like 10k farming XP if you plant and grow it successfully, so not terrible, I guess. I thought it was going to be more cash than that, because that's about what we got from the medium one, too. This is one of those moments where I gotta admit I feel really dumb. I have been convinced all the way from, probably a very low archaeology level until now that I needed higher than 63 archaeology in order to continue going in the Zamorakian dig site. It turns out you can do this mystery at level 29 archaeology, and the reason why I never kind of figured that out was because I've been following the wiki guide, and the wiki guide doesn't tell you to go in here until now. So yeah, I'm just figuring this out now. But I unlocked more of the Zamorakian dig site, finally. Okay, this might turn into a cutscene at any moment, but I am finishing up the quest impressing the locals. And the reason why is because Waco is the only place where you can find a material cache for soapstone. Okay, we made it to Waco. So the Ark is actually a really fun piece of content. I'm excited to do stuff here. I am going to come back at one point and do Ark stuff and earn chimes and unlock things. I don't think I'm going to be doing that in the near future, however, because the stats to do pretty much anything in the Ark is just kind of, it's ridiculous. Like, look at this. You need 90 wood cutting to do even the basic wood cutting, 96 fletching, 90 smithing, 91 cooking, 86 farming, 90, 100. Everything is in the 90s other than, farming, which is still in the high 80s. Like, the stats to do anything in the Ark they're just kind of insane. This is definitely late game content, but you can visit the island before then. And most importantly, you can collect soapstone, even if you can't do anything else, which is important because a lot of the Sentiston stuff, you need kind of a ridiculous amount of soapstone, and there's nowhere else to get it. Okay, I've been dreading having to do this, but I think it's finally time to just buckle down and do the Battle of the Monolith mini-quest. It takes a long time, it's not very interesting or engaging, but it is important lore-wise, and it's going to be important for future quests. And also, the reward is the Shard of Erebus, which makes NPCs down in Sentiston no longer aggressive to you, which we just really need to continue doing archaeology. So I'm kind of at a bottleneck until I get this done, so let's just do it. And for those of you who haven't done some of these kind of tower defense type mini quests before, you really just have to set up your NPCs to, block the opening that you're trying to guard. Just try to bottleneck the enemies that are coming through, and it's pretty easy. I'm probably not even going to have to help fight at all for this first one. So I brought food just in case, and I am paying attention just in case I don't die or anything, but I shouldn't. These guys are just trying to run through, and the NPC allies deal with them. Okay, at long last, the battle is over. It took quite a while, but at least I didn't have to do anything. Yeah, if you position your NPC allies in the right places, this whole thing was entirely AFK, and we should be getting our Shard of Erebus here very soon. So the advantage of having this shard equipped is I can now go to the western side of Sintiston, called the Nodon Front, and these guards will no longer attack me. I can just kind of hang out with them. Previously, these guys would all attack, and I would honestly die. You know, they're high level, and there's a lot of them, so I would not survive very easily without, chowing down on a whole bunch of food anyway. Now I can kind of just run through here unscathed. That is the final kill that I needed to get 70 ranged. This is another really big one, man. 70 ranged means we can start using that crystal bow that I have in my bank. You know what, screw it. Why am I even killing another one of these things? I'm just going to teleport out and go get my crystal bow and see how much of a big difference it makes. Funny enough, the accuracy still isn't perfect, even with a tier 70 weapon versus a tier 60 weapon, but I think part of that is just because they're weak to bolts. I was previously using a crossbow type weapon, and now I'm not. But also, my range level isn't the highest thing in the world, and I'm still lacking the focus sight, so I don't have any sort of Slayer bonus for doing range. So, our setup isn't ideal, but, the damage is just... it's significant. That's the cool thing about going up a whole 10 tiers in weapon, especially at these mid-game stages, because the difference is just really noticeable. So I learned something pretty cool today. I've always thought that Wizard Phoenix was the only shop where you could spend your Runespan points, but apparently there's another one too, and Wizard Rinzit over here at the other side, you can also spend your Runespan points. I just wasn't aware of this for some reason. So we're definitely going to want to buy the portal redirection. That's going to save us time every single time that we teleport out of Runespan and come back, which I'm doing a lot of because of ports. And then I'm also going to start buying this Master Rune Crafter set because the full set gives an additional 5% XP. So we'll start with the hat because, of course, why wouldn't you? The hat just looks dope in most outfits, and it's usually the most important one to get as long as they all give an equal amount of XP. And we'll save up for the rest. Okay, so I've completed a few Slayer tasks since the last time we really took a look at the reward shop, and I just got a bonus for my 90th task in the row, as you can see down in the chat bar there. So let's cash in some points. So I just passed the 400 point barrier, which does mean I have enough to learn how to craft Slayer helmets. And I'm going to do that because I just keep getting assignments that are creatures I can kill down in the Taverly Dungeon, and I either have to wear the masked earmuffs or I have to wear a Slayer helm. So because I'm tired of looking stupid with the masked earmuffs, let's just make ourselves a Slayer helm. We're going to use it a lot in the future anyway. Okay, here it is. First Slayer helm on the account. I think I can just use anything on the black mask, right? Okay, we now have our first Slayer helm. So for the moment, it's only a melee helm, and that's going to change after we get the Hex Crest and Focus Sight. I think the levels I need to kill the strike worms that drop those are 73 Slayer and 77 Slayer. And then, of course, we have to get the tasks and then actually get the drop. So we might not have the full Slayer helm until 80 Slayer or maybe even later than that if we get unlucky. But we do have the starter version for now, and it looks sweet. Oh yeah, I completely forgot this is how this works, but in the Taverly Dungeon, even though there are access to other monsters down here in the 4 corner rooms, such as Karasks, which is my task right now, I actually have to kill the Karask boss before I can kill any of the regular monsters. So this shouldn't be too hard. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of HP or anything, but I'll be back when I kill this boss. I think I get some bonus Slayer XP for killing him too. Okay, that was the easiest boss fight of all time. But yeah, we get 1,000 Slayer XP for killing them, which is not bad. And now we have access to killing all of the regular Karasks down here, which is where I'm going to do my Karask tasks because the Fremnik Slayer Dungeon is a long run to get to the end. So I got back-to-back tasks in the Taverly Dungeon. This time it's cave crawlers. Killed the cave crawler boss. It was pretty easy. One thing I was surprised by, though, is how low combat level these cave crawlers are. They're only 78. This must be the first time I've ever killed them post-EOC down in this dungeon. I just remember back in the day, I don't remember what the combat level was, but these creatures used to have a ridiculously high combat level for how easy they were to kill, and so people would just camp down here and cannon and camp effigies because, effigy drop rate is based on combat level. So you could kill them really fast, and they had a ridiculously high effigy drop rate. But now they're just the higher level variant of cave crawler. Okay, so here's the thing. I was planning on saving up a whole bunch of my penguin points and getting just a ton of agility levels all at once. I really was. That was my intention. We're currently at 67. The goal here is 77, and at that point we can switch back to using our penguin points on a more efficient Ironman skill. But the problem is I have a Slayer task right now, and it's to do Hellhounds, and the only good place to do Hellhounds, really, with the areas that I have unlocked, if you don't want to do Wilderness Slayer or anything like that, is Taverly Dungeon, and I just can't take another run all the way around Taverly Dungeon. I need this agility shortcut so bad. So we're going to start pumping these huge lamps into agility, just to be safe, using them one at a time to make sure we get all the XP out of them we can. So there's 70 agility, which is a huge milestone. It does come with a lot of shortcuts that you unlock, but the main one that we are interested in is this Taverly Dungeon Pipe Squeeze. This is the famous one. You go from the start of the Taverly Dungeon to the Blue Dragons, skip most of the dungeon, don't have to run all the way around. It's going to be so nice for Slayer. So yeah, this is the shortcut I was talking about. I'm sure you're all very familiar with it. Just get to squeeze through this little pipe here. No need for a dusty key anymore. So of course I alluded to using lamps till 77 agility. That is the level at which you can use the Prifddinas agility course. May even go to 80, just because you get a pretty significant XP per hour bump at the Prifddinas agility course at 80, and also it unlocks another very important shortcut. But either way, at 77 or 80 agility, I'm going to switch back to using lamps on Herb, and it's going to stay that way until we unlock overloads. Okay, here we are again at the Cal fights, getting the level where it all really started, our Slayer journey started, and that is 75 magic. So 75 magic is a big one, because that is going to be a massive weapon upgrade. We're still rocking the tier 60 Gothic staff, just because, we're working with what we got. But 75 means big changes for the account. Okay, we can finally equip Vanquish for one out of the 3 combat styles. The other 2 are still incoming, but this is the item that we got for hitting 150 quest points. So here it is in the magic staff form. It's a little bit longer than I expected. Looks pretty cool, but the biggest thing that we want is tier 75 accuracy and damage from this guy. So I'm now going to be able to maybe start doing a little bit of PVM, just because we have like an actual weapon that's worthy of starting that. So unlocking Vanquish is awesome. I'm super excited to start slaying with it, to start using with it. Also to unlock the ranged variant, we have 3 more ranged levels to go. But we have one final order of business in this episode we got to get done first. And we are here near the Croesus font because it is time to unlock the War's Retreat. War's Retreat is just so essential for PVM. You teleport to your bosses faster, you have easy access to a bank, restore your prayer, your HP, and also it's just really nice to have a teleport you can always use. I don't need to carry around the ring of kinship with me anymore just to teleport to a bank after my Slayer task. I can just teleport to one really fast using something in my spellbook. But in order to unlock this, as you can see, we need 10 total boss kills. Now this can be any boss, but I do need 10 total KC, which we don't have at the moment. But if I go to my boss menu and scroll down to Croesus, you can see we have 6 KC. So 4 more to go should unlock War's Retreat. So let's get it done. I'm properly geared this time. I got a bunch of super restores. I got them from killing the highest tier grotworms. I got some blogs, got a sweet outfit. Let's get this done. Okay, here's KC number 1. Okay, and this is KC number 2. Here's number 3. 1 more to go. Oh, and we got a drop this time. Manuscript of Bic. I think that's a page for the book. I'm not sure what it does. I know it benefits your skilling somehow. And this is going to be our 10th total Croesus KC, which is what we needed. So let's go check out the loot. Okay, I know we got at least 1 manuscript, but what else do we got going on here? 12 crystal keys, that's kind of insane. A whole bunch of Quarm, a whole bunch of magic logs. Yeah, just overall really good. 40 blue charms too, like you can't even sleep on that. This is really good overall. Okay, this is what we're going for. First time into War's Retreat. Okay, so for those of you who aren't aware, this is kind of the PVM hub that everyone has access to that has a bunch of nice features. The first and most obvious one is you have 2 boss portals. The first one you have access to attune as long as you have 1 boss KC, and the only one that we can attune it to obviously is Croesus, and I will attune it to that because it's a bit of a run. And the east one you need 100 boss KC in order to attune this portal, so we're still a ways away from that one. You also have an extra free portal that I believe just teleports you to the most recent boss content that's come out, as well as one that teleports you to whatever your current Reaper assignment is. So that one can be really handy if you're trying to do Reaper every single day. The other features that it has is there's just a bank, there's a place to restore your stats, there's also a campfire, and you can upgrade this one and it'll act the same way that if you light a bonfire and you get the health boost from it. But this is just like a 1-click and you can upgrade it to, a higher tier of logs through the shop. So the most important thing and the reason why we wanted 10 boss KC is we unlock this hub teleport. So now we always have access to War's Retreat just through our spellbook. We don't need any runes or anything. So whenever we're done with the Slayer task and we want to just bank, or if we just want to bank for any reason, really, we can always just click the War's Retreat teleport and we come straight back here, which is super nice. So I think we'll end off here by getting a Reaper task. Hopefully it's Croesus. I think we're at the combat level though where we can start getting other things as well. Yeah, our first one is going to be Chaos Elemental. You know, I don't think that would be insanely difficult, so I'll take it for now and try it out. And since there's no PvP in the wilderness anymore, it's not nearly as much of a risk as it used to be. And with that, we're going to end off this episode. I just want to thank all of you for watching. And I do have one final thing that I wanted to say. So I know there's not probably a huge crossover between people who love watching RuneScape content and NBA fans, but for the few of you out there who are into NBA stuff as well, I am starting kind of an NBA focused talk channel with one of my friends, and I'm going to leave a link to that both on the tab on the screen right now as well as down in the description. So if you're interested in NBA talk show type stuff at all, or if you just want to see what I look like or anything like that, feel free to check out that link in the description. And if not, feel free to disregard. It's all good. So I will see you guys next time, and I'm planning on doing a little bit of bossing. I definitely want to start doing some Reaper tasks and saving up for Hydrix. We're not going to be able to use it anytime soon with my kind of pathetic 65 crafting at the moment, but it's good to have those points in the bag because they'll be very useful later, and also it's a great excuse to start PVMing. But until then, I will see you next time. All right, goodbye.